My name is David Parker. I'm the Co-Chief Investment Officer at Bahrain Economic Development Board. We focus on three areas of activity, really. We do a lot of work to develop the ecosystem in Bahrain. We promote Bahrain internationally as a great place to do business. And of course, we work with businesses that are already in Bahrain to help them be as successful as possible. We're actually here as part of a delegation of 45 from Bahrain. I personally represent the Economic Development Board. We have our regulator with us. We have Fintech Bay with us, Bahrain Fintech Bay, which is a dedicated space in Bahrain for innovation in finance. We have representatives from the banks. We have representatives from the startup community, a complete mix, all of whom are here to do three things. They want to look at the opportunity in ASEAN for their own business growth, want to learn from what's going on. We're very conscious of the fact that Singapore is an advanced ecosystem. They've led the way in terms of regulation and so many other issues. We want to learn from that. But also, we want to look at opportunities for businesses in this part of the world to come to the Gulf, to do business into the Gulf, to grow their business in the region and use Bahrain as a base from which they can do so. Diversity is very important to us. It always has been. We never had as much oil as some of our neighbours. We had to diversify our economy many years ago. We focused on financial services. As far back as the 1970s, we became a regional hub for finance. We pioneered Islamic Finance. We now have over 400 licensed financial institutions in Bahrain. And at the moment, we're very much focused on the digital economy. How can we take traditional industries like financial services and ensure that they're fit for purpose in the 21st century? The answer to that for us in terms of finance is Fintech. We built dedicated space for innovators in finance, such as Fintech Bay. We've worked very closely with the banks to help them with their digital transformation agenda. How do we continue to diversify our economy? How do we embrace the digital agenda? So what drove us to diversify? I think it was a degree of vision from our leadership, that a strong economy is a diverse economy, and that focus 50 years ago now on financial services, for example, that vision is still there. That's why we're now embracing digital transformation, the fourth industrial revolution. I guess to some extent there's also the fact that we could never quite rely on oil as heavily as some of the neighboring countries anyway. That's driven a hunger, an entrepreneurial instinct in Bahrain, which I don't feel or sense when I visit other parts of the region. I think what makes Bahrain so special is actually its size. We're a tiny kingdom, population less than 1.5 million. So no business is going to come to Bahrain for critical mass. It's not like Saudi or Egypt, for example, where you have a population of 100 million and a much bigger market. Where Bahrain scores well is as a test bed. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're an innovator, if you've got a new product or a new platform or a new solution, and you're looking to test, why dive into a big, complex, scary economy? Why not come to Bahrain, where you have a very innovation-friendly government, test the idea, perfect it, learn from your failings, learn from your mistakes, and then scale into other bigger economies. And as I say, if your target is other bigger economies, you've got Mumbai, India, just 3 hours flight time away. Big markets like Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Egypt, all within relatively close proximity. A great gateway to Europe, to Russia, to the Middle East, to the further east, to Africa, all within a relatively short flight time. So I think Bahrain's positioning is small is beautiful. Come to Bahrain and test, and then we'll help you scale into other bigger markets, other bigger economies, other bigger opportunities. In terms of the wider region, I'm a fan of the work that Abu Dhabi Global Markets is doing, for example. I'm excited by the developments in Saudi Arabia. And the reason those are important to me is that we want the entire region to embrace fintech. Why? Because that's good for Bahrain. When companies come to Bahrain, when they test, when they look to scale, we want to be able to offer them regional opportunities. So I think the fact that we're seeing the UAE, Saudi Arabia and other Kuwait, other parts of the Gulf embrace fintech as well is an opportunity for Bahrain, and we want to build bridges with those countries as well so we can really open up the region to investors. no fintech ecosystem will stand out without skills and without talent. We obviously have deep-rooted talent in Bahrain as far as the fin in fintech. We've been delivering, I think I said we've been delivering financial services for 50 years. Technically, you could say a century, because Standard Chartered celebrates 100 years in Bahrain next month. But it's the tech element of fintech that is obviously very new. Artificial intelligence, blockchain technologies, for example. These are very new, not just to the financial industry, but to industry at large, you could argue. And so we're having to move quickly to develop the skills, the talent that we need to service our ecosystem. Obviously that starts with the educational institutions, but that's a more medium-term goal, to develop talent over time. For quick fixes, we've launched initiatives, for example, like the National Fintech Talent Program. This is a new program launched by Bahrain Fintech Bay, working in collaboration with Georgetown University in Washington, D.C. Bahrainis can now register for the Fintech Talent Program. They'll get exposure to blockchain and artificial intelligence through a series of training and development, not just in Bahrain, but they'll get to go to Silicon Valley or New York or Singapore. They'll get to visit these locations and see firsthand how other ecosystems are working, how other ecosystems are embracing this technology. So there's the long, medium-term skills development, of course, very heavily on homegrown talent, but there's also how do we get some people up to speed as quickly as possible? How do we develop the blockchain expertise, the data scientists, the data analysts, the blockchain talent quickly? And for that, we're looking at opportunities to train and develop people based on good practice in other parts of the world, and linking in with world-leading educational establishments.